you're turning 65 soon or over 65 and planning to retire, find out more about the plans that live up to their name. Thumbs up to that. Remember, the time to prepare is before you go on Medicare. Don't wait. Get started today. Call United Healthcare and ask for your free decision guide. Learn more about AARP Medicare supplement plan options and rates to fit your needs. Oh, and happy birthday or retirement in advance. I totally blind. And now 24 can make me show up too early or too late. You make me feel like I'm not there. Talk to your doctor. Call 844-234-2424. Not bad. That's it. I'm calling Kohler about their walking back. My name is Ken. How may I help you? Hi, I'm calling about Kohler's walking back. Happy to help. Hold one moment, please. The Kohler walking back features an extra wide opening and a low step. I will put it back on again. So
Okay. So
you
okay.
gotta remind me to unpause it, thing, but I always forget. So yeah, you were saying about just the worldview collapse, how profound it is, and it was for you at the time. Yeah, yeah. It's a big deal.
And still it is. So I posted something, I shared something in the group that okay, this course must come with a warning. It's not going to be an easy ride for anyone. It will be a huge thing, huge thing.
Right.
So it is. We all are struggling.
Right. So,
Yes.
so in that same context, because we were talking about friends of people Beena is connected to, and there was a pattern and all sorts of people, and one particular friend is in that same space of worldview collapse, and it's a very big deal, you know. So
Yes.
and it's how to deal with them and how to, and okay, you know, they got really crazy with her in a sense, and you know, where they were horrid and rude to her, and basically she said, okay, you know, I don't have to interact with them anymore. But then we brought up the point of, well, if you were a friend at one time, kind of aren't you a friend for life regardless of what the person do? Because we can look at this worldview collapse and their cockeyedness and their idiocy as temporary insanity. And I think this is a point that's kind of coming up for you a bit too, Donna. So in this case of a friend, okay, he got all into being a Trump supporter, and he sort of realized that he's made this profound mistake and he can't handle it. And he's realized that he's been this complete and utter idiot, and this is the problem now. Now everything is imploding. And he's kind of chasing away all of his friends, because rather have no friends than acknowledge to your friends that you've been this total asshole and idiot and nincompoop and totally stupid, right? So lots of stuff going on. But and then he was like, you know, he came on with Beena and ended up shouting at her and all this stuff. But does she write him off forever? She can if she wants to. It's a free choice. She doesn't have to interact with him. But I agree with you, Sher. For me, if you're my friend once, you're kind of my friend forever. So even if you get caught up in temporary insanity, and I don't have to, I don't have a responsibility to continue connectivity. I really, it's a free thing, but just for my own personal sense of nobility and my own personalness, I choose to do that. That's just me, right? And I feel that's the same for all of us here. So even though they don't technically deserve it, or I'm not obligated to, there's no expectation. Nonetheless, I personally feel it's something that I do, because that's just how I am. It's my idea of friendship. Yeah, it's Donna. It's a new nobility style friendships, yeah? It's taking it to that point of nobility that you are saying, well, I don't have to do this. Nobility is always doing more than you are obligated or required to do, right? So, okay, you know, you've been a jackass and you've been all this stuff and it's all on you. You know, I had no part of it. It's all your doings. But I'm not going to leave it there. Even though I can, I'm going to go that little extra step. Does that make sense, Donna, what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does.
Before leaving, because Sil, you explained it really well, and definitely it was not getting into my mind before, but when you said unconditional love, you mentioned that, and it just clicked in my mind that okay, yes, now it makes sense to me that okay, I can reach out and I can talk to him, just ask about him, so he will not feel left alone, kind of.
Yes, exactly. So and the thing is, Beena, you brought up unconditional love earlier in our conversation.
Oh, yes.
It's not a term I usually mean. So I said unconditional love as opposed to unconditional friendship, which is kind of the same. But I used that specifically because we're looking for an answer to what unconditional love is. Well, and there you go. Here it is. Here's a good example of it.
Okay. And Donna, especially for you, I just want you to just look at the yesterday's video recording, because it is something really special for me, but I want to share with you, especially.
My
Yes,
intuition was
Donna.
preemptive,
Uh,
Donna. Beena, my
Share
intuition
also,
was
but
preemptive. When I shared the video, almost always, well, not almost, but always before, unless there was specific mention, I only send it to the people that participated, right?
yes.
Yesterday's
Uh,
one, I sent to Donna. I included her
oh
in.
God,
Uh,
oh God.
so my intuition was good. So I included
Yes,
Donna in the. It's
yes,
you and I always include Olivia because she's always here listening.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
so I included Donna with you as well, because it was just
Uh,
so I
um, uh,
included Donna. So
yeah, share also. I would love to, if you watch that
okay,
video. It's a
okay,
long video,
I'll send to
but
share.
why I specifically mentioned Donna, and because I shared something with her before, and she knew that how the whole transition of my perception, of my
Wow.
perspective,
Wow.
and the dimension of my relationship with my mother. So she was, because I shared something, it was a very tiny issue, it was a very tiny thing, but it was just stuck in my mind. And Donna and Sil, they both were like very understanding at the time, and they actually resolved that. It was not like a magical thing instantly happened, no, but gradually it was in my mind, and it started working, and it resolved. And after that, how my relationship changed and how the things are right now, it is amazing. So I would definitely yes want you to also see that, but especially Donna, because she was there when I was actually crying and I was sharing all this.
Brilliant. The other thing is too that I'm pleased that you asked to include Sher, and I'll forward it to you, Sher,
Yeah.
because in the previous Zoom session of the accountability lab, mothers came up and Marvin said, "Oh man, we really enjoyed the session and he wants his mother to hear this." And so did Erica. They both said the same thing. And I even mentioned it in this because I said, earlier in the day I was talking to Beena and it came up with her mom and there was this profound magic and understanding and shift. But here's the difference that Beena, your shift is from a good relationship to a profound relationship. And that's unusual.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
I want to share that because sure. When we hear the stories of people sharing, their relationships with their parents are profoundly complicated and traumatic, and not always. I mean, man, they're man. These are soap opera stories and horror stories, right?
Mine is too.
Exactly. Yours is also. Donna also to some extent. So all but in a sense not it was they weren't positive in the sense, right? And I was commenting on this, I mentioned it in the Zoom session, that I actually only know really one person who's had a typical normal stable classic cliched upbringing
Yes.
in terms of happy, and even yours being it's unusual, but the only
Yes.
one I know is Olivia who's had that. I don't know anybody else. Actually, it's pretty interesting. But anyway, but the point I want to make is that to hear Beena's story, yes, it's a shift of perception and understanding. There's lots of stuff, but it's kind of a story of hope to me also. That yes, in terms of what you were saying, Sher, about people sharing, and we don't want to necessarily or don't need to. It's sometimes useful. We don't need to hear the gory details. It's a point about your learning and growth and shift. So here we get that same story of learning, growth, profound perspective shift, profound understanding shift. And it was really about an understanding shift of Beena with her mother, but it's going from good to really, really good. And that's hopeful. That to me is inspiring, right? It touches me very deeply. It makes me quite emotional, actually, to say that, at some place in the world, there are magical people, and thank God, because otherwise I feel a bit hopeless that there aren't people like Beena and her mother. I don't know. It just gives me hope.
Exactly. Yeah, mine when it comes to my own parents, both of them have passed now. Both my biological mother and my biological father, and I have a stepmother who is still alive. I'll be seeing her next month.
Oh wow!
But so trying to close up or resolve anything is kind of tough. But I still work through it.
Excellent.
Wow.
Excellent.
I still honor them. Still very impressed that my entire life, all the years they were alive, I never once uttered the word no. out of respect, because it's mom and dad, you know.
Right. And that's the thing. See, now that makes this thing even more powerful to share with you, because that was the start of the conversation. Was about something like Beena said. You know, mom has only ever given her like 2 pieces of advice.
Yeah.
And the one was that you say it, Beena. Let me rather than me paraphrase it.
Okay. The first one is that before considering your parents as a person first. Yes, we are your parents, but we are, and as a human. She used the words human. It's in Urdu, so I'm just translating it. She says that consider your parents as human first, and this is something which always stuck in my mind.
Wow.
And it was not only limited to their parents only, but as in general, it becomes a trait in my personality that consider people as human first. So to give them liberty to be wrong, to give them liberty to be stupid, or even
there you go. Because that word human in that particular, because there are 2 words in human, insan and adami, right? And that particular one, it means more in the English way, person or individual, rather than just human being. Yeah. So, it's just magical.
Okay. I'm just quickly sharing the second one, and I will go there because it's too late, almost morning here.
Yes.
And the other one was just, do whatever you want to in life. Just do, if you want to do a robbery or a murder or a kidnap, whatever you want. Just be honest. Just be honest. And my mother actually tricked us. I always say that. She actually tricked us. We feel so empowered that, we can do whatever we want to because Mama said that.
As long as you're honest.
But she says that, just be honest. How can I be a robber and be honest? How can I do a murder?
Right. But also, there's a sophistication, and this was, her mom came, and I said, when she said this, I said, hey, at some time I'd love to have your mom on a Zoom. And then, mom, Beena's mom was handy, and she said, Mama, and she kind of pulled her in, and then we had a chat with Mama. Okay, Beena was translating. But there was a deepness to that point, and I connected to that. At least I felt I did. I wanted to check my perception to say, whoa, this is a very sophisticated thing you're saying here. There's layers to this, because she's also giving her children like capital T trust and responsibility and all sorts of stuff. And then I wanted to make sure if her mom had done this deliberately, and then the mom said yes, and it was a big deal for mom because she said, this is the first time in all my life. Say, Beena, what your mom said again? You said.
It is a very profound, because if you consider that she is a Pakistani woman, a Muslim woman, and living in this country, and then she said that, and she was a single mother because my father passed away very early.
It's huge.
So it is huge. It's a big deal that she actually empowered her children.
Right. But I mean, what she said in terms of being understood.
Okay. Yes. And
when I was sharing my perception.
She was essentially, to me anyways, giving you permission to be you.
Right.
Oh, yes. And also that considering your parents as human first. She says, we are your parents, but we are human too. So just consider.
Sorry, what I was connecting to was that there was a profound shift, not only in you of your perception to your mother, but in terms of when we discussed this understanding and this depth sophistication, there was a profound shift in your mother that she felt heard the first time in her life.
And when Sil was saying thank you to my mother, and she said that thank you because I feel understood first time. I feel that someone actually understand that what I was giving to my children.
Yes.
And this was something really huge, and she was so emotional at that time. She said that it is not about appreciation. It was just about simple understanding the value of this lesson. And I was actually sharing in a fun that, see what my mother did to us, and she actually tricked us and all that. But yes.
There was some honest to it, Beena. There was some honest to it. Yeah.
And this is the lesson. This is advice or just suggestion. You can say that what my mother gave to us at a very young age, which makes me so liberated. I have so many variation in my friends list and in my adventures also because of this. Because I consider people
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
As individual person,
Wow.
and like me. So it is quite liberating and amazing. So I would love to, if you'd like to watch that video again.
It's a huge video, and I want to say more why it's actually important. Intuitively, we're making big jumps.
Oh
Beena,
yes, again.
as a theme, like what you've been doing as a deliberate theme, as a conscious, deliberate application of intent. You have been deliberately making the effort to apply capital H hearing. Yes?
Oh yes.
Now, your mom was heard last night.
Yes. Yes.
See how huge it is?
Yes.
Now, you could see
Actually,
firsthand when somebody gets heard how profound it is. So, as an example, that's another reason for Sher, because Sher is practicing this also. Donna also, right, Donna? We can't hear you. I muted your mic because you're moving around, so it's making a lot of noise. So maybe just go, thumbs up or nod or something, or I'll unmute you again. But there's this to deliberately practice hearing and listening and seeing people. Also, that's what I was practicing when I was saying with the visuality of people and pulling that. It's not just it's all of it, but that hearing when people are heard, it's huge for them. And you saw it in your
yes.
mother. You saw it in your mother.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
something special.
Okay. Time to go for me now.
Love you, Beena. Love you, Beena. And
Okay.
see you
Bye,
again.
Beena.
Magical.
Bye. Bye, Sher. Bye,
Bye-bye.
Donna.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
Sher.
Beena.
Bye. Sleep well. Sleep well.
Oh, yeah, if I could have some time.
Try.
Yeah.
Magical.
Okay.
Magical. All right. Man, lots of stuff. I need to kind of just like so much going on. Donna, I'm just keen to hear. Sure, if I can just put you on hold for a moment. There's lots of stuff going on, but I'm just keen to hear where Donna's at, because we had so many intense conversations that were kind of open-ended, right, Donna?
Right.
Well, and actually, before you start, let me, I was going to say, so if it's okay, let me hop off here. I've got a couple things I have to take care of.
Okay.
And then I can come back onto you.
Oh, always, absolutely, sure. I know I'm here. And is there a AL session today? AL Zoom?
Yes, there is. Yeah, Miles is actually hosting it. He said he's got some ideas and stuff that he some takeaways from.
Okay,
his
but that will be at 6 then, 6 Pacific.
7 my time, which would be 6 yours.
In 3 hours time, in other words.
Right.
Okay, so we got plenty time. So yeah, I mean, I'll likely.
I'll send you a prompt.
Be late for Donna then, so I don't think Donna, you like to go to bed early. You don't want to go so late. So then you likely will be finished before 6. But between now and 6, because I'm assuming you're going to attend the one with Miles, right?
Yes.
Right. So in other words, I'm just saying I'll likely be here all the way till 6. That's what I'm trying to say. So.
Okay, sounds good. All right, we'll see you
later. See you
Okay,
later.
bye-bye.
Brilliant. All right. Good. I got Donna all to myself. Oh, I love it. I'm kind of stingy that way and greedy that way, Donna. I like to have you all to myself. I truly do. I really do enjoy it. It's really huge. So, what you thinking, Donna? What you thinking? You good? You all right? Everything okay?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, okay. I am. Just reread chapter.
Oh yes.
Chapter 10 and 11. Well, I went into. I thought I knew what chapter 10 was about, but I was wrong. And then when I went to click on chapter 10 this morning, I accidentally did chapter 11. Wow. And I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to connect how that matched what we were talking about.
Brilliant.
Like,
brilliant.
Wait a second. So I went back.
Brilliant.
And I was like, okay, I'll read 10. So, but then after I finished 10, I'm like, okay, that's obvious how that connected. But then 11 connects too.
Right,
so,
because of the anomaly. In other words, so now you have to say, what's the anomaly? And I just want to go to chapter 11 because I don't specifically remember. So I want to just go to chapter 11.
It was good.
An earnest dream. Right. Okay.
It's so incredibly interesting to me in that in this process over the years, how much is showing up now?
Yes.
With conversations that I had with people years ago, before I even started the years ago. And I was thinking about this one woman that was a life coach for me when I was, as you used the term, was in that void really
Right,
deep.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was helpful, and we were talking about the city, and she was very inspiring and very excited, and I described it to her, and I thought to myself today I would love to reconnect with her.
Oh,
I haven't
good.
talked to her in a while to say, check this out. You know that city we were talking about years ago? Well, there's a book about it. I mean,
I love it.
Bielas-
I love it. I love it. And look at chapter 11. What's the title of chapter 11?
I know. Isn't that funny?
What is it? What is it? I want to hear you say it.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Come on. An earnest dream. What is it that you're the city of love?
I know.
What is that but an earnest
dream? Yeah.
It is a profound, oh man, it melts my heart. It's hard to just even express how magical that is. And Donna, do you see what I hear when I hear you? I hear that earnest dream. And everything that you are, everything that you say, everything that you do, it pervades all of you continuously.
When you heard me talk about the city and you had already written Biella, what were you thinking? I know you connected it all.
Magic. That's all I think. Awesomeness, magic. And you know what I thought then at the time? I think I said it to you. I said, oh my goodness. Do you realize, or something to this effect, or I'm expressing the mood. I don't know the words I said. But you know what? I must have said something like, there's a moreness that's even more than the moreness, Donna. I don't think you quite realize how much things are connecting. It's like the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg or something to that.
I do remember you saying something like, this is just the beginning, was the...
Right. And that, like, man, there's so much magic going on and so much awesomeness. So when you said about the city of love, and that, to me, it was like, I can't wait to share Biella series with you. So I didn't think I said it right away then, because it's too much all at once, you know. So I want to share it all.
It took a while. Yeah, it took a while before.
But it had to. Yeah. It had to take a while. You know, it was just me trying to be appropriate. And even when it did come out, I think it was sort of a little bit ahead of time. But okay, you know, I don't know always the timing of things. I just trust, you know, and just go with it as it is. So. You know, what can you do? But still, you know,
even like the concept of angels and going back and reading chapter 10 again, way before we even connected, I had that sense. And when you talk about angels, I knew immediately you weren't talking about angels the way
religious angels.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel, and I have felt that they're definitely, I look at people that surround my life, and that's how I see them. I see them as angels.
Yes.
I just do.
Exactly. See, now, you know, a lot of people, I'm going to go through chapter 10 with you. We're going to read it now because
I have my phone, so I'm not able to read
it don't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll read it out loud. So, yeah, okay. So no problem. I mean, we don't have to do it as a cooperative. I just want to, I meant like, I want to get into the detail of it, because it is a story that has that chapter, it's the origin story. And it is a very, very layered story.
I was just going to say that. It's very layered.
Right. And there's a profound, deep complexity and sophistication to that story.
Right.
What you just said is why you are a new noble. Because you said, that is how I see people around me. Now, notice the exact phrasing of your words. I'm listening very carefully. Not some people, exceptional individuals like Olivia. No, people in general. Big difference.
That's how I feel.
Exactly. They're all here to teach us something really profound. Yeah.
Right.
There you go. So now it's that's the new nobility perception, that they took this idea of Sebastiel, right? In this case now, the young man, you know, it's all connected, right? But Sebastiel in the story. They took his profound conceptuality, and he also did it himself, right? But they took this fully, where he's saying, you know what, if Illumina can be in my life And even though she might do things that don't make any sense to me, that seem cockeyed, when I really think about it, they're always for my good, right? And there's kind of like this ruthlessness to her because she's an angel, and she's, her mandate is to do what's good, regardless of how outcomes are, right? So now when we look at all people that way, it is profoundly transformative. And as an act of nobility, how can we not see everyone this way?
Certainly makes forgiveness
it makes forgiveness irrelevant, really.
Right.
Exactly. It makes forgiveness kind of nonsensical. Exactly. And it's funny, being in the accountability lab, the previous session, the topic was forgiveness, and they were all talking about forgiveness. Eventually, when I came up, I said, the words forgiveness and not unforgiveness or forgiving, they don't connect to me. I don't feel them at all. They don't have any space in my life. They're no relevance to me personally. What I think of when it comes to people and their actions and their consequences is making peace with it and coming to resolution. When I said that word resolution, it connected with people, and they started to use the term. At first, some of them said, as Sil says, resolution, and then the one girl I'll show you now, Erica, she started just use the term, which was great that she just kind of moved on, she's sharp. But anyway, in that way, she just adapts quickly, it's very cool. Anyway, so they started saying resolution and coming to resolution, and that was the point. It's all about the resolution. Forgiveness is irrelevant because the one woman there, I'll show you them now. It's kind of interesting. So, when I talk about them, because it overlaps, so I can't help it. So it's good if you know who they are. So the one woman's very sober. She made a point too that it's about appropriateness and how you relate to it. You didn't say those words, I'm paraphrasing, but nonetheless, so it's about coming to resolution. It's more important than forgiveness is an issue. So it's how you come to peace with forgiveness. If you forgive people, if you're okay with that, fine. If you don't forgive them and you're okay with that, then that's fine too. Right.
But if you look at it from the perspective of we're all here to learn and share and grow and increase our awareness, forgiveness isn't even needed, period.
Exactly. But I did have a little bit of discernment there, where I said, from my point of view, personally, you might perform actions, and those actions and those behaviors are unforgivable. But right. And that just, some things are unforgivable. You go around murdering people. Well, okay, it's unforgivable. All right. End of story, or whatever, raping them or doing other things. But that doesn't mean that you as an individual, that, I can't come to peace with the fact that you did it because, you had a brain tumor in your head. If you had a brain tumor in your head and you did all these horrible things, okay, what's to forgive? You were just like, something happened to you. Forgiveness becomes irrelevant. I didn't use that example there, but it makes the point, right?
Right.
So sometimes we don't forgive the actions, but the person, it's a different. I can be at peace with that person doing unforgivable actions. Why? Because they had a brain tumor, or they were caught up in an immersion bubble and temporary madness. And we've all been in immersion bubbles of temporary insanity, so we understand this, right?
Right.
So in that sense, forgiveness becomes irrelevant, like you said. Plus, when we really get into the deeper magic of the greater awesomeness of the universe, all of those things are like, when you think of everybody as an angel and you start to say, how does this make sense? Where's the logic in this? What do I learn from this? Man, and it all becomes profound, right?
Mm-hmm.
It shifts us into a whole different world. All right. So just a bit of fun before we get started on Biella. Now, remember I was saying to you, I wanted to share these videos with you and
I do have to leave tonight. I have to be somewhere.
Okay.
So
how long do we have?
Till about 6:30.
Which is that's 4:30 my time. So we've got like an hour, like 3/4 hour.
I don't even know what time it is. Just one moment, please. It is. Oh, more like I gotta leave in 15 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, then we won't do Biella. Then I'll just share the little video thing here because this is just fun and interest stuff. So we won't get into anything deep here. So let me do a screen share. I don't know. It just was interesting to you. So
do other people come to the same conclusion with their own version of the cities?
No.
Is that like Oh.
How do you mean? They don't have cities of love.
Oh, no. I just thought maybe that would be like a connector, like this, a commonality for
No,
those.
you're the only person that I know that has a vision of that nature. I don't know anybody else who's had that.
Huh.
Which
Just
is quite
curious.
fascinating that you just sort of assume that everybody has a vision of a city in some way.
I do. I do. I
Well,
wouldn't
maybe
think
I
that
should.
that was
You know
weird.
what? But now, Beena, now you make me question. And again, my expression. I said it very definitively, and I got that's a bad habit. You know, or not. It's not actually a habit, but what's inappropriate there. I should say, not that I know of. Now, in the same way that you didn't necessarily go around telling everybody about the city of love, maybe they do have visions of ideal cities and utopias and places that they wish to be in. They just don't express them. So I'll ask. I shouldn't assume that they don't, but certainly nobody's expressed it to me.
It's interesting too, because I
On
know
you.
that it's not my city as in Donna Herbert's. There
Correct.
was like conversations and things I've read and just experiences I had over my life. And like it was all seeds that were planted, all along the way. And then I don't know, just the actual pictures that pop into my head, and then the words that float around that connects this to that. It was like a lifetime process of connecting it all to come up with it and making sense of it being a city. It was a process.
Wow, interesting. All right, so I was saying here with the people. Let me go a little bit later.
So we got, who are these people?
All right, so these are the people in the accountability lab. At least some of them, there are more. And Sher was hosting a Zoom session, and the previous night, Marvin had hosted one, and the topic was forgiving or forgiveness.
Okay.
And Sher hosted one, and her topic was sharing, right? And because she's concerned with some people, they give advice. And, we talked about this, the inappropriateness of giving advice, inappropriate application of goodness and the presumption of giving advice and teaching and helping, all of that. That whole because also it connected to her because she'd been dealing with impatience. And the way I kind of, shared with her the perspective, it profoundly leveraged her when I connected impatience to arrogance. Whereas when you're impatient, you're essentially insisting that the world move according to your timetable or the way you want it to be, which is profoundly arrogant. And I said, Sure, you can't actually be deliberately arrogant. It goes against your self-conception. So now you can't be impatient anymore. And it's like, oh, fuck, now I'm screwed. Yeah, because when patience is connected or impatience is connected to arrogance, it leverages you, right? It's a very quick way to get out of impatience. It's very useful and really connected with Sher. So I wanted to connect the same way with the sharing and giving advice. That advice is also a bit of an arrogance thing. Okay, yeah, she's mentioning that it's like Hollywood squares, and everybody was pointing in the different directions to the people. That's why they were gesturing like that. Anyway, so she's in the session, and pretty much the same people were there the night before, which is interesting. The repeat. And then, and I kind of thought it would be nice to share the video with you, but to do so, I can to hear, but I have to switch it to the internal mic of the computer, which you won't hear me. So you'll hear them talk, and I'll be able to hear you, but I won't be able to comment. Or I can, but you won't hear me. Anyway, it was interesting, but it's not that critical. It was good though, but I just wanted you to see the people. So this is Erica, and then I was sharing this with Beena, and that's the topic that we came on. So I said just kind of a fun thing for me in terms of hearing people. There's also seeing people. And I didn't actually express it in that way. I just said it's more like a thing of interest to me, that I see people, and then an abstract quality will come about, which is like a point of connection to a starting point. So if I start here with this girl down here, or woman, actually I call them a girl, but they're really a woman. This one here, her name's Christina, right? And when I see Christina, what comes up in me is loveliness, but with depth, right? Some people are just loveliness, but there's no depth. She has loveliness with depth. That's kind of what comes up in me, right? So anyway, I don't know if it comes for you or not, but I'll as I go through. And this is Christine F, which she's got a French accent, and I think she's in France. I don't know if the F stands for Christina from France or not, but I thought it was just amusing that it's there. So for her, it comes up to me, sobriety. Erica is empowerment. Sher is earnest humility and modesty, or earnest, humble modesty. This one here, Penelope, sharpness came at first, but I thought, no, it's not quite sharpness the way you would typically think of it. There was a bit more to it because, sharpness, you think of like intellectual cleverness or stuff. No, but sharpness in a fresh sense. And in that she's like on the edge of things, like
Edge.
going a little
Right.
bit beyond
Edgy.
the usual. That's what
Right.
Sher said too, edgy. But I don't mean it edgy as a bit of a negative connotation.
No, I don't either. I don't
Right,
mean it that
right.
way either.
And you and
But
Sher
just,
said
but
exactly
just,
the same thing.
yeah.
Right. Edgy in a positive way. So, okay.
Right.
Fine. Marvin is like innocent sophistication because he says shoot a lot in his language. And then Erica was talking about not having a father, and he said, oh, that must have been terrible to not have a father. I can't imagine, that kind of stuff, like very cliched stuff. But yet he's starting to realize that, there's more. So he's looking to step out of his kind of shootness and his own limitations and boundaries and self-conceptions and stuff. So I'm like innocent sophistication because he does have a lot of sophistication to him. And then Roberta Ann, they call her Robbie, but she puts her name as Roberta Ann, and it's either Roberta or Robbie, but I call her Roberta Ann anyway. That's just me. But anyway, so she was a little bit more difficult, but it's like vulnerability came to me at first, but there's a moreness, so I said vulnerability with complexity. So anyway, I just find these perceptions interesting, so I don't know. And that's when then Beena piped up and said, oh, when I see you, I see a neem tree. I was like, man, I first thought she said meme tree, like M-E-M-E, meme tree. And I thought, wow, that's an interesting point to say. But then she said, no, neem, like N-E-E-M. And it's a tree that grows in Pakistan. It's a desert tree. Anyway, and then she went in, that's what she was explaining, why she sees me as a neem tree. And that's how come the poem came in, and that's where you came in, just to catch you up. So, yeah.
She's mentioned that you're a tree before.
Yeah. She said that since she repeated it. She repeated it that she said that I do see you as a tree, but then the specifics came out. Wow, that's interesting. And I like the
fact. Tell me
that
about what is a neem tree.
So
I'm not familiar.
A neem tree. Neem, yeah. It's a desert tree. And I'm explaining Beena's words. She says it has a unique color of greenness that is, well, at least to her, particularly beautiful to her. And also, it's a tree that it grows in these hot climates. It's like an oasis tree, in other words. So you don't even where there's no rain, it somehow grows. And like when you're in the shade of a neem tree, it's very pleasant, even though it might be hot just outside the shade. So it's a very sheltering tree and a protective tree and comforting tree. But also, it has neem. It has profound medicinal properties, and and they use it for everything. And it's very bitter, but it has lots of applications that are really good and useful. So it's one of those kind of magic trees. In other parts of the world, there are similar trees that people use for everything. So the neem tree is kind of that one over there. So
I'd be real curious to see if Beena has had visions of a utopia or a city, or
yes,
yes. I wouldn't be surprised if she did.
And also, I want to ask her how she sees you in the context of like, oh, she sees me as the neem tree, like how she sees you. Beena is a peculiar character in terms of her intuition. It's quite astounding. So, she makes these jumps which aren't logical sometimes, but they're quite profound, and I really enjoy them. And it's very interesting. I love it. It's magical, really. So I'll be very curious to hear her perception on you, wouldn't you?
I would.
Otherwise, it's about where you said, I thought you said, no, I wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe I just for a second there, But anyway, so I was saying the other thing with these people here is that it struck me, when they talk on the internet and they're beautiful people around. And yes, they're all beautiful people. When you hear them show their stories, you see that, Yes, our group, it's a different connectivity in the way. But anyway, it struck me too that, man, these people are physically beautiful as well, visually. It just struck me as peculiar. I don't know. I just like, wow, these really beautiful people. It's like, I don't know. It's just anomalous for me. So, I say that to you as well, and now you might think I'm like funny when I say it to you, and people don't hear it when it's about themselves. But when you said right, you see what I'm seeing in here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I see that when I see you too, Beena. Sorry, Donna. I don't see. I was gonna say I don't see Beena. I have seen her once or twice. I know what she looks like, but I don't. But I do see it when I see Beena too. I see that same beauty. So I just find it astonishing. I just it really surprised me, and it's magical. I mean, look when they smile. It's like their whole faces transform and light up. You see it a little bit with Erica here. So, and then you see it with Penny too, and you see now with Christina. I don't know, man. You just see that beauty, even starting to see it here a little bit in Christina. She's very sober. I love it, but you see it that side come through. I don't know. I just the beauty just astounds me. I don't know. It just
That's very cool. I can totally relate.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
Right. All right. So, oh, you said you had to go at 3:30, which
Oh, it's 6:30 here.
Okay. Oh, so you're 3 hours away from me now, then?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So we've shifted. So there was the shift in the time shift lately.
No, I've always been 3.
Oh, you have always been 3. No, you were 2 at one point, I thought. But
oh, really? Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Because
We'll go with that.
are you on Eastern time or on Central time?
Eastern.
Oh, then you were always 3 for me. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we've shifted our clock
at
yet.
some point because some point California goes 4, but we stay 3.
Gotcha.
Right. So yeah. So you're always 3 for me. Yes. Okay. All right. Cool. Because we joined California, and in summertime California is 3 from you. Wintertime they 4.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we'll read book 10 another time, since you got.
Yeah, I know. I would really like to do that.
Yeah, me too.
Like soon, because it's so relevant to what's going on right now.
Right.
That it's like you like to say, it's that pressure, and you have to act on it right away.
Yes. It's pertinent and relevant. So how long are you away for?
I'll be gone probably about 2 hours. I'll be back around 8 or so.
All right. Well, if that's not too late for you, we can do it today still.
Okay. I'll check in with you when I get back, and we'll see what's cooking on your end.
Okay. Because this is more important than anything else for me right now.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, so this is like, hey, now if we can do it today, that'd be great. Who knows? Maybe your things work out and the universe ends things early for you. So okay. I'll see you.
And I need a little processing time, and like I had sent a text to you, I'm kind of like Cornelius. This aspect of me, you know how he likes to process.
Comelius. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No R.
Okay.
And it's with an M. Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, Comelius, not
Comelius.
Oh. Yeah.
It takes me a while to process, and once I have that time to just let it flow. It's not even like I have to think about it. It just has to flow for a little bit and simmer, and then I can have a more effective, productive dialogue about it.
It has to integrate. Look at my hands here.
Yeah.
It has to integrate, settle down into the body. Yes, I hear you. No, it's very important that you're recognizing the necessity of that integration and simmering and processing time. It is absolutely magically, vitally necessary and awesome. Very good.
Yeah, don't tell my boss, but I read the Biella at work.
Good for you. Good for you.
It felt more important, honestly, than work. And so I got there a little early, and that's the first thing I did. I read those chapters. It was that pressing for me.
But it is actually productive for your work also. If
it
you
is.
come to
Very
resolution, it makes you more productive in your work. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll connect with you later when I get back then.
Brilliant. Okay. I love it. I look forward to it. I can't wait. See you later. Bye-bye, Donna. All right. So I got to get out of this meeting. And then we'll just start a new one when Donna comes.